Well, ultimately, I see the main force of separation is fear. Right? Because, again, at least the way I see it, that the experience of separation is, although it's illusory, it seems to be a natural stage in the development of consciousness. Again, just like adolescence is a natural state of development, or being an infant, you don't look back and go, why was I ever an infant? You know, that was silly. I should have just skipped over that stage. So I even see this sort of ego development, and with it that comes a sense of separation. It all has to do with, you know, how our brain works, and the immense power that thought has. And it all sort of starts to create this sense of self, right? And, and so I see that sense of separate self as ultimately illusory, but actually quite natural stage of development. But then I think when you get to the threshold, which I think is where a lot of people are now, they've experienced that separateness, and they find that it's inherently unsatisfactory. Not only for oneself, but very unsatisfactory for the world, right? Very unhealthy for the world. And then you feel that pull, right? There's something else. But that's when you often start to uncover this tremendous fear, because it's a sort of death, right? Moving beyond the separate self, it's a death of an identity. And on the level of thought, it's like, it's a death. It's very abstract to talk about it or describe it. But when it starts to happen to you, and you literally feel like you're going to die, or you look in and you see the emptiness of a separate self, and it sounds very spiritual, but when you actually see it, it can really be quite terrifying, quite shocking. Like, my God, the person I thought I was isn't here. And so I think there's this great, for a lot of people that I talk to, this great fear of non-existence. That's part of the irony, is we have to come to true existence through the doorway of non-existence, of our own separate non-existence. And that's very, very, very frightening. And so we distract ourselves. I mean, and the world, you know, the world we've created is a perfect world in which we can distract ourselves with endless amounts of entertainment, you know, trivialities. And when you get down to it, really, usually it's sort of this deep fear of initially realizing I don't even really know who I am. I just really don't know who I am. You know, most human beings, they really don't know who they are. And then on top of that, then there's the fear of there's that fear of meeting that existential emptiness or non-existence, because that's the doorway.